for a couple, generation, couple of decades here. I'm just curious, like looking at the scene right now, we've got a whole influx of fresh blood, new folks. Late last year, we had TJ, Dallas Glenn, Kyle Koretsky, and Aaron Stanfield on the cover of the magazine. All these young kids showing up to the factory hot rod division, alongside the Greg Andersons and Erica Enders and all these legends that exist in the space. What's your take on that class? Because it feels to me, despite the car counts we're seeing in Top Fuel and Funny Car, but even like this last weekend in Houston, man, there's a lot. There's so much excitement and so many storylines around Pro Stock right now. I still think it's like the unsung hero of the whole show, the whole NHRA Camping World Series. I mean, how do you feel about it at this point in time?
Well, there's a lot going on behind the scenes in Pro Stock, just like any other class or any other type of racing. But, to your point, like as close as it's been, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty serious. I mean, honestly, like this sounds just, I mean, I thought there's in the world that we're not qualifying.
Right.
Period. I just didn't. It never even crossed my mind, But, the class, it used to be like you could come out of the trailer, you could get kind of close, and then you could pick away at it for 3 qualifying runs. Well, no, you pretty much got to have your shit together right out of the trailer, or you're definitely going to be at a disadvantage. Any opportunity that you have behind the 8 ball typically isn't the place to be. Just makes the class that much harder, makes making decisions that much harder, and really just puts a little pressure on yourself. Over the weekend we had an airline that came off in the right before the parachutes. So, I mean, it it blew the whole bottle down to nothing to where the bottle was frozen. It's a freak that happens, and then you don't get down 2 runs, but there's 20 cars there. So you get to watch from the pine,
It's, I mean, as bummer, as bad of a situation as I'm sure it was in the moment, it does speak to the health of the class. I mean, a lot of times I see it all the time on Facebook and social media. People, oh man, I wish Pro Stock was like it was back in the 70s or back in the 80s. And it's like, well, hey man, if you paid attention back then, there was like 2, maybe 3 good cars. Yeah. The rest were field fillers. And I mean, I'm trying to, be disrespectful, but it was the truth. There was 2 or 3 cars that ran away with it, for years and years on end. And then you look at where we're at right now, and then
everybody else is like down here.
Yeah, man. And it's not like that now. I mean, holy cow, every car that was in Houston, even the ones that DNQ'd, could have been in the final. Given they're all top contending cars, which is a great thing. Let's talk.